Okay, Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum. I
Right.
have six. I have 6:02. If you want to get started.
All right. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to pull up something. Okay, let me say good evening to everyone. Glad we're all here to take care of this business. I'm going to ask Mr. Baptiste if he would give us a roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Anderson,
Here.
Mr. Sherfers, John. We lost John.
I have to unmute.
I don't see him.
Okay.
I don't see him either.
Oh boy.
Where did he go?
Let me tell John we lost. You lost your quorum, man.
Yeah, I noticed. Let's see if we can get him back on.
I'm giving him a call. John, we lost you, buddy. Yeah, John, we just lost you. Can you dial back in? Thank you. It went to his voicemail, man. That's Christopher Smith coming in.
Good evening, everybody.
Dallas Smith. Dallas here. Bahana Swati. Rhonda Counters. Jerry LeBeau.
Here.
Mr. Smith, can you hear us? Christopher
Yes.
Smith.
Can you hear me?
Man,
No.
I lost everything.
Okay, there's John.
I'm back.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
All right. Let us start with the invocation. On Mr. Doc Smith to lead us in the invocation, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Okay. Father God, we come first giving honor and glory to the Almighty God. Father God, we just come thanking you for this day. We bless your name. Father, we ask that you be a part of this meeting and guide us and direct us, oh Lord. We ask it all in the name of Jesus. Amen.
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 Amen. Amen. We normally skip the pledge since we're nowhere near a flag. In front of you, you should have a copy of 2 sets of minutes. One from, I believe it's July, and the other from August. We have those.
Yes.
Okay. And have a motion, please.
I make a motion.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. We approve the minutes from the July meeting and also the all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, At this point, I don't see you have anything on your agenda for a presentation, nor for communication, nor a speaker, but
We have one presentation.
one.
Is that right, Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir. I can take over from here for a second, Mr. B.
Yes, sir.
All righty. We got a bit of great news last week. Mr. Baptiste and I have been discussing this probably beginning of the year or whatever, and as humble as he is, he's been, it's like a tug of war. I told him that I knew he had this one in the bag because of all the work he's done in economic development, but he kept on being persistent and saying, oh no, man, it's a lot of people doing some work around this country, man. It's a lot of people. So basically I asked Mr. Jeff Finkel, who's the CEO and president of EDC, if he could come in and basically inform everyone of this great award that Mr. Baptiste won.
Well, thank you very much. Now, this is a little awkward for me in that the award is actually named after me. And so Floyd has won the Jeffrey A. Finkel Organizational Leadership Award for 2020. Now, and I will tell you the little bit of the history of the award, and then I will talk a little bit more about Floyd. The award was first presented in 2011, and it was an interesting year in that that was my 25th anniversary with the International Economic Development Council. What I did not know at that time is that my board of directors was going to recognize that, and I asked them something fairly simple. They asked me what I wanted for my 25 years, and I said, listen, I went to Ohio University as an undergraduate. I would like to, as long as I'm at IEDC, I'd like to have an intern from Ohio University every summer. We have a pretty aggressive intern program. Well, they did that, but then they added one other thing. As many of you may know, that in the field of economic development, a number of people move from job to job. They're here for a couple years, then they move somewhere else for a couple years. I refer to many of them as itinerant economic developers. It's sometimes a lot harder to stay in the same community and plug at it year after year after year. At that point, I had been in my job 25 years, which even in Washington, at some of the larger associations, that's somewhat unusual. But so to qualify for this award, you have to be in your job a minimum of 15 years. You have to be have considered to have done your job with a great deal of ethics. You have got to be considered in your job as somebody who continues to work at it day after day, week after week, month after month, and giving your all to the community in which you work. You know, what's fun about having an award with your name on it is the award has only gotten better by each of the various candidates who have won it after me. I'm lucky enough to have my name on it, but Floyd Carlton Schwab was a previous winner of the award, as you probably are aware. And for those of you who don't know Carlton, he runs the Texas Economic Development Council. The former head of economic development in Grand Rapids, Michigan, actually, she's still in the job, won the award. The head of Fairfax County Economic Development Authority, an organization with about a $12 million budget, won the award. The Dayton Development Corporation in Dayton, Ohio. And in October, we will add the name Floyd Baptiste to the winners of that award. You know, I've been very fortunate that I've known every one of the prior winners. I'm fortunate that I also know Floyd. I know that he is deserving of the award. I know he stands shoulder to shoulder with the other recipients of the award. And there is one other thing that I would mention. You know, with any activity we do in life, there's always a first. There's the fastest runner, there's the highest jumper. And sometimes there are other things we don't think about as much. Floyd will be the first African-American winner of this award. So he not only stands shoulder and shoulder, he carries an additional first in this award. So I am honored to be with you tonight to share this news with you. And Floyd, on behalf of the awards committee and the IEDC board, I want to congratulate you. We will be sending you a plaque shortly. And George, you're going to have to figure out how to tape his
Speak.
his speech and his response, and that's how it will be presented during the annual conference, is by video. But you know, we hope you guys will be there to watch it as we roll out the virtual annual conference that we're going to have in about 3.5 weeks. So thank you very much, and Floyd, with you, you know we're friends, but it's heartfelt. My congratulations to you.
Mr. Chairman, I'm lost for words. First thing, I didn't know Jeff was going to be here tonight, and you know, Jeff, I'd like to say first thanks to IEDC and the folks that you surround me with, and the folks that you provided me with the knowledge to gain all the knowledge that I gained in this career. And I like to say to my board, you know, this not only this board, but the past board also, if it wasn't for these guys, these ladies and gentlemen, that a lot of the things that we have accomplished here would not have been accomplished without them, you know. Jeff, you've been to Port Arthur. Port Arthur is a tough city, but I think we have turned the curve. And I think, Jeff, I hope that within the next 2 years, George would like to invite you back here, because what you saw is no longer here. It's different. I think when you first came to Port Arthur, we could put a cannon on one end of the street and blow it. Everything was going to fall, and nothing was going to fall, because there was nothing. But it's a new day in Port Arthur. You know, if you don't know, one of the largest petrochemical in the nation, in the world, have chosen downtown Port Arthur as their campus. So it's nothing but a mushroom that's going to happen all around us. So again, I just want to thank IEDC and the folks that, you know, sitting in this class learning. They seated me. They gave me a lot of knowledge. They gave me a lot of information. And as we all know, we don't have to invent anything. You know, we just tweak what other people are doing out there. And I think that's where our success came from. Jeff, thank you again, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Guys, I left workforce and I got into economic development. And my basic class, I think it was in Reno, Nevada. And Jeff spoke the whole half day. And I said, this is amazing. He reminded me when I was in college, I was taking architect, and I dropped it because he reminded me of one of these architect teachers that I believe he was from the ancient days because he brought back the whole historical Coliseum back to life to me, you know. And Jeff, you did a wonderful job, and you have played a very important role in my career. Thank you again, man.
You know, before you said that, I never realized you were in that Reno class. That
Yes,
was,
sir, I was.
oh, how about that?
Yes, sir.
That's fabulous.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Thank you, Jeff.
unless any of the board members have any questions for me, George, Floyd, I will let you go about your regular business. But you know, I do want to congratulate all of you. You know, we all know how humble Floyd can be, but he's been I think he's been integral to all of these things that things don't happen by luck. It takes a lot of work to win some luck. So, I know how much Floyd thinks about this. He plots about this, and he and leverages things to get done. And so luck just does not happen. So I want you.
We did
One more thing, Jeff. I'd like to say one more thing. I don't recall the year, but it may have been 2009, 2010. We invited IEDC and Swati and Louise came down here, and they actually began the process of revitalizing this project, this community, you know. And I know Jeff had a difficult time with the ISD, but we got over it, Jeff. We didn't over it. Yeah. But the documents that you brought to Port Arthur is what we're still working on today. It's what we're working on today. And we continue to work on that plan. And 2 years from now, George is going to invite you down here and you will see what you guys put together in that report.
Great. All right. Good night, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful meeting.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care.
Well, wanted to tell Mr. Finkel, thank you for his appearance, but I know I try to run and get off of meetings that I'm not a part of as well. So we're glad he came on to give that great surprise to Ms. Baptiste, and we congratulate you on your accomplishments, on the work that you are doing. People notice what's going on. They don't just give awards away. So we are excited about what that means for you and what that means for our city. And we just hope that you continue to be successful in your endeavors. And hey, thank you for being a great wealth of information. And we don't have to just tell you, other people are noticed as well. So again, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right. That was the presentation of presentations. So let's go to our non-consent agenda to discuss for possible consideration professional service agreement with Germer P. LLC, currently effective through October 31st, 2020. Mr. Baptiste?
Yes, sir. Commissioner, Chairman, Germer Gertz, who have been representing us for many years, representing us well for many years. Their agreement with us expires October the 31st of this year. What we're asking you guys to renew the agreement under the same terms and conditions as last year.
Do we get to keep Kate?
Hey.
No, you only get Guy. No, I'm just kidding. You get both of us. We're a package deal, so it's both of us again. And as always, and I know Guy would say the same, we really enjoy representing you all. You all have really fun, interesting projects that we get to work on to move the Port Arthur community forward. So we always have such an honor telling people that we represent you all, and we really enjoy working with the board and Mr. Baptiste and George and Rachel and Renata and Crystal and Joni. It's always a pleasure. So I hope y'all, choose us again, but we really do enjoy working with you all. So thank you for the opportunity.
May I have a motion, please? Any questions? I'm sorry.
I make a motion that we keep.
Chairman, I'd like to say one thing to Kate.
All right, I have a motion.
I just like to say, Kate, you and Guy, and I've been here 15, 16 years, and one of the key to being successful is having smart people around you. You guys have kept me out of trouble. Thank you very much.
You're not that hard to keep out of trouble. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, I entertain a motion now.
Okay, I so moved that we keep them around.
And I second it.
All right, it's been moved and second that we move forward with the extension of professional service provided by our attorneys. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
On that note, I'd just like to thank Kate and Guy for all their assistance with the EDC board and its members and just working with us also. There's a lot of things that we probably don't know. Y'all the legal minds. And so I'm just gonna say we are in good hands with those legal minds.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. I appreciate that.
All right, agenda item number 2. To discuss for possible consideration approving the second and final renewal of a security guard service to serve the Spur 93 Business Park with S&S Investigations and Security, Inc., currently effective through October 16, 2020. Mr. Baptiste.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, you guys entered into a 3-year contract with 3-year with 2 1-year renewal. We're asking you to renew this for the second time. This is the final of the 3-year. We are very pleased with the services that S&S Investigation and Security provide to us. And we're asking you guys to renew this thing for the third year at the same cost.
Any questions about that? May I have a motion, please?
A motion we move forward.
Second it.
All right, it's been moved and second that we proceed forward with the final renewal for the security services provided at the Spur 93 Business Park. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 3. To discuss for possible consideration the approval of the technical assistance agreement with National Development Council, currently effective through expiring November 29th, 2020.
Yes, sir. Again, this is another agreement that we have had with the National Development Council for some time. We have a 1-year agreement with them. They provide us with economic development counseling. They provide us with, also they provide new board members with what we call a Grow America Fund, which is a SBA loan that we operate through them. They also like a check and balance for us when we obtain all the documents from our clients to check and see if they are credit worthy. We normally pass those documents through those folks, and they tell us if it's a good client or not a bad client. So my recommendation is to renew the agreement with the National Development Council for additional 1 year. And that agreement is at $6,000 a month for 12 months. All expenses on them. They normally visit us they try it once a month. Sometimes it's once every other month. Depends on what we have to do. But we are steady in contact with these folks on a daily basis.
Any questions concerning that?
Yep.
May I have a motion? Mr. Smith, you had a question?
No question. I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and second that we approve our agreement with NDC for an additional year. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 4, to discuss for possible consideration amending the contract for grass cutting services at Spur 93 Business Park to include the grass cutting services for the Jade Avenue Business Park with Joey's Tractor Service of Port Arthur, Texas for $27.50 per acre for an additional cost not to exceed $14,850. Total contract cost will be $30,250. Mr. Baptiste?
Yes, sir. First thing I'm going to give the board a little history on this project. This project is the Jade Avenue Business Park. Remember, this board had entered into a lease agreement with Motiva Enterprise to lease that property. We never executed that lease, and because of the virus, most of you guys know a lot of things that's going on with business been delayed for about a year to 18 months. So everything been on hold. So my deal is, Kate, I think we need to go to executive session with that one, if you don't mind.
Ryan, I think on this one, we'll go into executive session to discuss more of the real estate negotiations, and then we'll come back and handle this agenda item, Mr. President, if that's okay with you.
Right.
Fine by me. So agenda item number 4, we'll take up in executive session.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Agenda item number 5, to discuss for possible consideration going out for bid for the landscaping and maintenance of the sprinkler system at the Jade Avenue Business Park.
Yes, sir. On number 5, normally we maintain the common area of the park. We would like to go out for bid to maintain the landscaping. That's the front portion of the park with a sprinkler system. Currently, we do have a contractor that's providing those services for the 93 Business Park, who's doing an exceptional job. And I do think they're going to bid, but I certainly would like to see if I could lower the costs and get comparable services. That's why I'm asking you guys to go out for bid. But again, I am very happy with the service that the folks that's doing the landscaping at the 93 Business Park. They're doing a tremendous job. But I'm very cost conscious, and I would like to see if I can get that price lowered.
Yeah, as we discussed the other day about this particular one, I remember the effort that we had to put in to get the contractor in place to do the other sprinkler systems, and we knew that it was going to cost a little more, but they were so much better, and they were able to maintain. I'm fine with going out for bid, but I will tell you, I'm also fine with using the person that we already know will get the job done, because if I'm not mistaken, we tried to go the shortcut before, and we ended up having to do something a little bit different. So I just wanted to mention that, but I'm in favor of whatever you want us to do. But if we could switch over, I would be fine with that as well, instead of going out for bid and ending up getting another service contract with someone that cannot fulfill and do the job to our standards.
Who is that? Who do we have it with?
Currently Fry's, Freys, They are the contractor. They do an exceptional job. Their price is pretty high, but you know, in the real world, you pay for what you get, and we are paying for what we get. I would not have a problem with them just asking them to extend their contract. My deal was I was trying to get a better price. But if the board wish, if the board desire, you know, I could ask Thrive if they want to extend their contract to the additional landscaping and sprinkler system at Jade Avenue.
Is that the one, Floyd, that does for Shangri-La and Lamar University?
They take care of Shangri-La, they take care of Lamar. They do an exceptional job. I have never seen, since I've been here, folks, I've never seen that the landscaping as manicured as it is today.
Okay.
But we pay for it. We pay for it.
Since they do an excellent job, and you're gonna see if you can get them to give us a better price. If not, you happy with them instead of just wasting time trying to get 3 bids. I'm fine with the decision you make on that.
You know, listen to you guys. What I would like to do is sit down and talk to them, like you said, and see if I could get a better deal. And if we could get a better deal, I think, like the chairman said, and Jerry said, that these guys they do a great job. So I don't mind holding this thing. Let me have a conversation with these folks, and I can come back to you guys and let y'all know about my decision.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
That's great. So this agenda item, does it get tabled or how do we handle that?
Let's just hold
it.
Hold it. It may not come back to you. If it come back to you, it's going to come back in a report saying to you guys the decision that I've made with if I could get those guys to deal with it at a better price, I'll just come back and let you guys know.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you, Mr. Baptiste.
Kate, we probably have to amend a contract, all right? Yeah. On mute, Kate.
Can't hear you, Kate.
Okay, sorry. Yes, we'd have to amend it just to add the new dates in there.
I don't have a problem with that.
Sounds good. All right, well, let's move on to agenda item number 6 to discuss for possible consideration, enter into an agreement with Panama Equipment for the repair and installation of the generator donated by St. Mary's Hospital for 549 4th Street property.
Okay.
Mr. Baptiste.
Again, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I'm going to give you guys a little history. Some time ago, we entered into agreement with Cat 5. Cat 5, they removed the generator. They moved the generator to the 32nd Fire Station, and they placed it there, and they were going to start doing some repair. Well, the gentleman that was the primary guy that was working on this generator and knew the generator, he has since left Cat 5 and went to another company called Panama Equipment. I have spoken to both Cat 5. They have no problem with us switching this contract over to Panama Equipment. And I like to maintain the guy that's been working on this thing. He's now working with Panama Equipment, and what we actually need to do to end the agreement you have with Cat 5 and enter into an agreement with Panama Equipment for the repair and the installation of the generator, that generator that was donated by St. Mary's Hospital.
Any questions about that?
No.
May I have a motion?
Make a motion to go forward with this.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and second that we move forward and enter into the agreement with Panama Equipment for the repair and installation of the generator donated by St. Mary's for our 4th Street property. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 7, to discuss for possible consideration inquiry into the purchase and installation of generator for 501 Proctor Street.
Yes, sir. Again, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, on this particular item, at one time we thought that the generator that we was getting from St. Mary would be able to facilitate the service for this building. Well, we found out that that won't happen. So during the last storm that we had, what was the name of it, George? Laura. The city had some issues, and some of the issue was a lot of their equipment and personnel was supposed to go to Lumberton. Well, they had a lot of problems with that, so they end up without a place to go. The fire chief did call me, I think, and George, and they asked if they could set bunker in the building. Well, I said sure. Well, then when we got in the building, we lost power. They lost power. So, and later on on your agenda, I'm going to talk about your budget, your money. What I would like to do, I'm not asking, is just for you guys to give me permission to go out there and research and see what it costs to get a generator for this building. And I will come back to you guys with the costs for a generator to serve this building. That's all I'm asking. Just go check it out. See what it's gonna cost us to get one to serve this building. And I'll come back to you guys and tell you what the cost is. And then you guys can make a decision if you wanna move forward with that or not.
Any questions?
Nope.
Do we need a motion on this, or we just need to give you directive to do it?
Just give me some direction. I just want to go check and see what it's going to cost me.
Okay, so I believe it's the consensus of the board that we would like you to go out and check the prices and then come back to us and let us know what's going on with that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Agenda item number 8, to discuss for possible consideration requesting a downtown revitalization incentive from 501 Proctor Street, Inc. for build out of 549 4th Street. Mr.
Okay,
Baptiste.
Kate, I'm going to probably need some help on this, Kate. Okay. Kate been going through 501 Proctor Street, Inc. and telling you guys how that organization came about. Well, one of the things, other than the new market tax credit transaction, we also had a historical tax credit transaction that Apple purchased for $1.2 million, 1.2 million dollars. And currently that money is sitting in the bank. That money is sitting in the bank with 501, and it's been sitting there for the last 7 years. Well, I'm going to let the lawyer explain the purpose and intent of 501. Can you do that for us, Kate?
Right. So, as y'all know, 501 Proctor was created for the new market tax credit financing structure because we had to have a qualified low income community business to be the entity at the very end who received the funds to retrofit 501 Proctor. So we created it for this transaction. However, this is its own independent legal entity. It is a 501c3 and it is a corporation incorporated in the state of Texas. It has its own board of directors, its own bylaws, its own articles of incorporation. So it is its own standalone legal entity. Well, so it is a nonprofit, so it's kind of limited on what it can use its money for. but in the articles of incorporation, in the purpose specifically states for any sort of downtown revitalization. So reviewing the bylaws, it appears on its face that 501 Proctor might be able to provide potentially some funding towards 549 4th Street, or the Port Arthur News Building's revitalization. So I've told Mr. Batiste that we could go to 501 Proctor with the specific, scope of what we would be asking them to do. And really 501, there's two ways. One of the ways is they just enter directly into a contract with the contractor for that specific scope of work. That's one way that they could do it. Another way would be basically providing the EDC with the funds, and then the EDC handling the contract. But that will be ultimately, we'll look at which way is most beneficial. So this is really just letting you all know that we would like to go to 501 Proctor and see if they would be interested, and ask their board if they would be. They do have the funds available, and it would be something that they're authorized to participate in, since this building is in downtown and we would be revitalizing an old Port Arthur building.
Yeah, and the reason for doing this, guys, when you guys approve your budget, you approve $1 million for that building. We went in, we have what we call a guaranteed maximum price. We entered into a contract with a guaranteed maximum price of $7,250,000. In your 2020, 2021 budget, we have $1 million. And the reason why I'm asking this is we have some white box within the building, and what I would like to do, if I could get some help from 501 Proctor, we could completely fill out this building. So that's what I'm actually, this board would have to go to 501 or meet with 501 and make that request. And that's what I'm asking this board to make a request to 501 for a grant to help the retrofit, the bill out of 549 Proctor Street, 4th Street, I'm sorry.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
What's our response? Is this a total grant? I mean, it's
I'm not understanding the question, John.
He's trying to make sure that it's a grant. He froze
John,
up.
Look like he froze.
I think he froze. John, what's your question?
Here he
John?
comes.
the question is do we have to pay it back?
No.
Well, to 501, so with 501 Proctor, if we ask them, so we have this EDA grant for a specific amount of money, and it just didn't include this white box space, which is fine. They knew that from the beginning. And actually, when we did 501 Proctor, the GMP, there was white space on the second floor, so that's that happened. But if we went to 501 Proctor and we asked them to assist, it would not be any sort of loan. It would basically be them agreeing to use their funds to revitalize another downtown building. And that's the thing. 501 Proctor could say, yes, we're interested, but we want to be the ones contracting with the contractor, which is ultimately up to them if they want to, or they can provide the funds directly to the EDC, but it would not be in any sort of transaction where you would have to pay it back. It would be them just contributing their funds to the city of Port Arthur, or not the city, but the city of Port Arthur, to revitalize a building in downtown, which is what they were created to do.
Right. Sounds good to me.
Kate, how much money are they holding? I missed that.
Rachel or Floyd know the exact amount.
Mr. Batiste, do you know
Can you
that?
tell them how much money they have in the bank, Rachel?
Not right off the top of my head, I don't. I could get that information to the board on tomorrow by email.
Well, is it
It's
enough?
close to $1 million, Jerry. Close to $1 million.
Yeah.
Or
It's close to $1 million, and it is enough for them to contribute to the project and not exhaust all of their resources.
Right.
yeah, but Kate, $1 million, I don't think would build out that building $1 million more, would it?
No, Jerry.
No. No.
We're not
That's the
going to
thing.
ask for the $1 million.
Right. They could decide to contribute to the building, and it would not exhaust their resources. They would still have funds in the bank for possibly another project. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So how much will we be getting it from them?
My first thing, I got 2 other items on the agenda, and the 2 other items, Jerry, I don't know if you want me to just go ahead. The 2 other items is to get with the architect and see the additional work that they have to do, and get with the contractor, see what the additional work he has to do. Remember, we have $1 million in our budget to take care of some of that whiteout. But anything in excess of that $1 million, I would like to go to 501 and say, can you provide us with some funds to complete this project?
Okay.
I don't know the exact cost right now, but we have $1 million. You guys have approved the budget on that. Anything in excess of that, I would like to go and ask them for some funds.
Mr.
Until
do you want to just go ahead and clarify? Do you want to go ahead and clarify agenda item number 9 as well, since those 2 are real close together, or?
Yes,
what?
sir.
That's where you asked for us to go out to the architect, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, what I would like to do is go to the architect, because they're gonna have to do some additional work, drawings and sketches and stuff. And then go to the contractor, and the contractor will say, okay, this is what it's gonna cost me to bill out what you want. These white boxes. Those of you who was in this building, when we first got here, it was just us in the chamber, and the rest was white box. And we bill a portion at a time. And each time we went out with contract for that portion that we wanted to do. What I would like to complete this building with the same contractor, because once you demobilize that contractor, your costs go up. If you lose your architect, you got a different guy. I think it makes sense to me to deal with the people that you started with, that know the building, know what we're trying to accomplish, and I would like to get the costs from them, both the architectural costs and the construction costs. And I know I have $1 million, and once I find out their cost, if their cost is 1.3 million or 1.4 million or 1.5 million, then I will know how much additional money I need to add to the $1 million to make the project whole.
Okay.
So I'm also asking you guys to allow me to go ask the contractor and the architect to provide me with finished drawings of this building.
So, Mr. Baptiste, what are you plan? What is your idea? Or what's your plans for completing that portion, that white box, or however you said it? What are you planning on doing with that?
Making it what we originally wanted to be. You know, give you an example. A portion of the commercial kitchen downstairs, the leased kitchen, that's a white box right now. But I would like to go ahead and build it out and lease it out. In fact, you're going to hear from Jana. We're already talking to someone. A portion, sir.
Who's Jana?
She's the new staff person. I'm going to introduce her later. She will give a report on this thing. A portion of the co-work space is white box. we would like to build all that out. We only have a portion of it built out because we only built out based upon the money we had, the 7.25 million. Now that I have $1 million, and I'm looking at what cost it would take me to complete this whole building, so we could have a complete building and it's open for anything that we want to have done, for all the things that we wanted to have done in this building. That answer your question, Mr. Nick?
Yep.
So you just want to build it out for rental, whatever.
Well, first thing I want to find out what it's going to cost me to build it out.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to find out what it's going to cost me. Yeah, because I may not be able to build it out. You know what I mean? I may be only able to build 80% of the white boxes right now, based upon money. But I need to find out what it costs me.
Okay, so it's two things.
I think, Commissioner, I should have put number 9 before number 8, because if you guys allow me to do that, then the next thing I want to do is you guys we start looking at going to 501 and ask for some money.
Okay, so we're looking at these two items, and the first thing, of course, is to find out how much it's going to cost to build out the complete building, which would be great to have it all ready to go for our citizens and businesses to be able to use. And then secondly, to go out and find, sit down with 501 Proctor to get the additional funds to build it out. If there be, yes, okay, if there be no more questions about that, can I get a motion that?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, let me just clarify this to the board. Before anything happened, guys, I will come back to you guys with numbers of what it costs from the architect, what it costs with the contractor, because I think the lawyer is going to tell you you're going to have to enter or modify some agreements if you guys plan to move forward with this thing. But
Right,
I will come back to you guys with some numbers. Right now, I'm going to find out what those numbers are.
And that's what I was saying with the whole, how 501 comes into play. You know, the EDC could be the ones entering into it, or 501 could be, because it's going to be a separate contract for this specific scope of work. So, so it'll be totally separate and apart from the GMP.
Yes.
All right, can I have a motion, please? To allow Mr. Baptiste to move forward.
I'll make the motion to allow Mr. Baptiste to move forward with 549 4th Street.
All right.
I second it.
All right, it's been moved in second that we allow Mr. Baptiste to move forward with finding the additional cost for the build out of 549 and also possibility of having to sit down and with 501 Proctor for a revitalization incentive. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 10, to discuss for possible consideration a request from the Greater Port Arthur Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Baptiste.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, the chairman, I think in your package you guys received the request from the Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
Let me just make you guys aware of what's happening. I think, I don't recall the days, but there were several days we were having air conditioning problems here. And it did take the technicians, they had to order a part, and I think it took about, George, 4 days to make this thing happen.
Yes.
4 or 5 days. And the building did get a little warm. The chamber did have some concern about how soon we was going to get the air conditioning fixed, but they had to order a part. And I guess most of you guys know ordering parts and waiting for it to get here it's a nightmare now with what's going on, especially when the part is not a local part. But anyway, they did make a request because the air condition was not operating at 100%. They would like to have a reduction in rental payment. Currently, their rental payment is $25, $22, $16 a month. You know, they said partial lost days. They saying 11. I don't think it's 11 days. Partial. They said partial. 1 full day. Total loss. They think they about $539.98. So they're asking for a reduction in their monthly rent of $538.98. And I did make the chamber aware that I would bring it to this board for this board to make a decision. My recommendation, I have no problem. I think, to be honest with you guys, I think it's petty, but we could go on. I don't think we need to make this an issue. I think kind of like Miss Obama said, when they go low, we just go high. Keep going.
I make a motion to deduct this amount of $538.90.
I got questions. Am I understanding you that they paid for a part for the air condition?
No, they didn't pay for any part of it. We paid for the parts of the air conditioner. We had to order a part, and it took time for it to get in here. And I will tell you that the technicians worked very diligently to try to keep this building in a workable condition.
Okay.
But, it's a mechanical part.
Right. Okay. But they didn't pay for it.
No, sir.
Okay. So they're asking for a reduced rate because the part hadn't come in?
Well, I think what they asked for, Commissioner, is to reimburse them for their inconvenience.
That's hard to figure.
How you do that?
I don't know.
Well, that's what they
How
asked.
you come up with a figure?
That's what they asked.
Their rent is $2,500 a month.
Yes, sir.
And they want them to go to what?
$538.98.
Right.
That's just a one-time deal, right?
It's a one-time deal. It's a one-time deal. And as I said, Commissioner, I think it's very petty. But I think that, I will tell you guys, man, all you guys are new to this board. And, when we first started in this building, we went to the chamber and asked the chamber to be a part of this organization, this building. And we gave them a hell of a deal. We gave them a hell of a deal. We gave them a hell of a deal. We gave them a deal where the rent that they were paying 5 years ago, they would pay that same rent for 5 more years in a brand new building with brand new furniture, and we bought all the furniture for them. Yeah. So I certainly understand the frustration, but it is petty. I'm not going to deal with it. These guys are coming down here twice and 3 times a day and tell me the temperature dropped 1 degree, Floyd. Another couple hours, it dropped another degree. I don't get petty like this. So my deal is, let's let these people, it's a one-time deal that,
It's for 1 month.
For 1 month. Yes, sir, for that 1 month.
All right.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, since I'm very familiar with air conditioning problems since I own a shopping center. Do we, is it a separate unit for each rental? Is that unit just used for their space? They have their own AC?
No.
No.
Oh, it's not. It's a building,
Yes, sir.
HA.
The temperature, I think there's 2 units here, right, George?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes,
Well, the only reason I was going to even bring that up is because when I lease a space, I give them a 6-month warranty. Of course, each space has its own AC. So, and after that, whether it goes out or breaks or whatever, they have to pay for it. But this is a different situation since there's a.
Yeah, it's and the way we recoup our money is when we entered into agreement with these people, there is a dollar per square foot. When with the chamber, it was 98 cents per square foot, but we had a 14-cent CAM. So part of the air condition use and service is in that CAM.
Gotcha.
Okay. I was under the impression that they sent someone out to fix the air conditioning.
Well, I tell you what, Commissioner, we have a service contract with Nance, who is very reputable company. They even came to me and said, well, we'll get somebody to fix it. And I said to them, no, I don't get into that he say stuff. And all I'm asking you guys, when they go low, we go high.
I'm not trying to be petty, Mr. Baptiste, but really. But if it's for 1 month, I was under the impression that they wanted their rent to go down for each month.
Just for that 1 month, sir. $538.98.
And how they came up with that figure?
98 cents gets me.
I'm losing you, Mr. Smith.
And how they came up with that figure?
They have an insert in our forms today, and it shows the days they lost.
Yeah. So I guess they said 1 full day they lost $82.92.
They lost.
And 11 partial days they lost X number of dollars. They used some statistical analysis and came up with something.
Yeah.
They came up with.
Well, we can all agree that none of this is ever going to make any sense to us. So we must decide what we're going to do so we can move on. May I have a motion?
Make a motion to deduct it for this 1 month, one-time deal.
Will it be second? Have a motion on the floor. We need a second.
I'll second. All right, good. You second. Good.
All right.
Thank y'all very much. I certainly appreciate this.
Well, we haven't voted yet. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Now you can say thank you, Mr. Baptiste.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Agenda item number 11. To discuss with possible consideration the approval of a 2.5% pay raise for EDC staff contingent on council approval effective October 1, 2020.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Baptiste.
Commissioner and Chairman, the council will be approving their budget on the 15th of this month. There is a recommendation to the council that across the board 2.5% increase for staff, and I'm asking you guys to approve a 2.5% raise for your, our staff contingent upon council approval of their budget and raise.
So it's not contingent on the city council because we're separate from the city council.
Well, if the council, the city manager is making a recommendation for a 2.5% increase for the staff, the council could approve or disapprove this. And so what I'm asking is contingent upon the council approval. If the council does not approve it, then our staff would not get it neither. If the council do approve it, then our staff would get it.
I'm so confused because I thought we were a separate entity from the.
We are, but what your bylaw says, Commissioner, your bylaw says that once a person becomes hired by EDC, then they operate under the city personnel policy.
Right.
So all this comes under city personnel policy. Kate, can I say it any different?
Right. No, I agree. So Floyd has a separate contract directly with the board, but other than Mr. Batiste, every other employee at the EDC is actually a City of Port Arthur employee. He gets the benefits of any city employee and also has the same pay raises as the city. The only reason you all have to approve it, it's really more of just an approval stamp because it has to be put in your budget. But if the city approves it, then they're entitled to it because they're city employees. Like if any HR issue, et cetera, that all goes through the city. I don't know if I explained it.
It's like Kate said, Mr. Smith, the reason why you guys are approving it, if the council approved this, then 2.5%, your budget's gonna increase by the salary of 2.5%, salary plus benefits of staff by 2.5%. So that's gonna be increasing dollars that's gonna go into your budget.
Yeah,
That's not there.
I get that part. It's just that one time we're not under the city, it's a separate entity. So, but you said something about the bylaws. I get the money part, the budget part. If they didn't approve it, even if the city didn't approve the 2.5 for the city employees, I thought EDC employees were separate.
No, because they have to operate under city bylaws.
Okay. So
I'm sorry, under city policy.
okay.
Now, we still manage the staff, but all the policies that the city have in place for city employees, they are under those same policies.
Okay.
All right. So can I have a motion?
I make a motion that if the city approves the 2.5, then we budget for the EDC employees.
May I have a second?
A second.
All right. It's been moved in second that we move forward with making the provisions in our budget to accommodate the pay raise for EDC staff contingent on council approval. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you,
We
guys.
will now hear our reports. Mr. Batiste.
George, I think I wasn't here this morning. Crystal, I think she took off today. Is that right?
She's on though.
She's on, Crystal? Crystal?
Well, her name is.
No, she's recording. I don't know. No, I don't see it on.
Okay, maybe not.
So we're gonna go to workforce report. Renata?
Yes. Good evening.
Evening.
Okay, so I'll start off with Angels Divine Touch, our CNA program that we currently have. Just wanted to update you all. We currently have 3 new students that just currently enrolled in the program. Also, one actually obtained her CNA license, so we're very excited about that. So seems like the program is working and moving along. I think we have budgeted, I think, $15,080, and to date, we've only spent $1,809. Just going back earlier this year, you guys had a chance to actually kind of meet the YP recipients, well, not recipients, but interns. And just want to let you guys know, if you guys weren't already updated, Robogistics actually retained 5 of the interns that actually worked there this summer. Our CDL program, I will say that we currently have 18 enrolled, and it dates back to my first enrollee for 2020 was February 6th. And to date, we have 18 enrolled and 4 have completed the actual CDL program for 2020. Moving on to our scholarships, just want to let you guys know that we actually had 5 scholarship recipients. I'm gonna just kind of show you guys the pictures. I kind of made a little impromptu, but these are our scholarship recipients for 2020. And all of them have actually enrolled at Lamar State College Port Arthur, and they've retained their P numbers for fall 2020. And we also had 3 former students that had received scholarships back in 2019. They're enrolled as well. And one young lady actually took it upon herself with the approval of Mr. Betty. She actually went to summer school. So looks like everything is pretty much moving on and everything is working. I will say that one young lady, her GPA was not the 2.5 that we actually have in our agreement. So she lost her scholarship, and we had one to discontinue because of COVID-19 reasons. So that concludes my report. Any questions?
Hey, Renata, what did her GPA drop down to?
You talking about the one that actually didn't make it?
Right.
Yeah, it was very low.
You said she start and then she
oh yeah, she
just had some issues?
Yes, she was going to school and she had some issues.
Okay.
I spoke to her.
Anything else for Renata?
Oh, I have one more thing. I'm sorry. Also, just recently, and I forgot, well, Joan had gave me this. Actually, one of the scholarship recipients actually sent a thank you card. I'm pretty sure, I think you guys have received it, but it came from one of the scholarship recipients.
All right. Thank you for your report.
You're welcome.
What's next? Financial report?
Yes. Good evening, board.
Good evening.
This report will be short and brief. The report is effective as of August the 31st of this year. Our projected revenue for fiscal year 2020 was $4,890,978. Our current expenditures as of August the 31st is $2,776,632, which leave us an excess revenue of $2,114,346. We have a debt service of $821,419 fiscal year. We have $68,452 left, which will be collected in next month in September. That leaves us a change in fund balance of $1,292,927. Our fund balance at the beginning of the year was $8,340, $696,000. We're projecting a year-end fund balance of $9,633,623. On the back, if you look behind, it'll give you a breakup of the expenditures that leads us from October to the current year of current month of August. Also, you'll be able to see the taxes that we've collected so far up until August. Actually, you'll see it in September because I've already plugged that number in because I could see it on the system. Everything is still looking okay. We're not over our projected, our budget that we set for this year. So the EDC is looking, their fund balance is looking healthy. Is there any questions?
Yes, ma'am. I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Have you started to see any of the trends or anything that's going to cause us some issues in the future based on some of the stuff that's going on with the COVID and some of these businesses not functioning at full capacity?
At this time, no. I'll tell you that I have not looked into that. I could see that it should affect us somewhat because our sales tax revenue should be affected a little. You know, a lot of businesses were shut down for quite a long time. And so I can see it becoming a problem for us. I don't know if it will become a big problem for us, but eventually I will be able to sit down with Mr. Baptiste and look at that and look at those trends.
Okay, I have one other question. With our micro loans,
yes, sir.
I think we still would have 2 out. Are we getting anything back on those or what?
We are. We have of course, COVID has caused a couple of our recipients to have a little problem. But they did call in, and we do appreciate the fact that they called in to let us know the issues that they're having and to see what we can do to help them. Mr. Baptiste and I actually spoke with one recipient, and she just needed 1 month. We moved it to the back of the loan only because of the evacuation for Laura cost her to have a little bit more expense than she normally would have, and that's understandable. We also have another recipient who requested a couple of months to be deferred due to COVID. She, I don't want to say too much about the business, but I can tell you, you know, if you call me tomorrow. And same thing, COVID is affecting some of them, but it's not a great deal. We still bringing in the two recipients that's having issues right now has been very timely in their payments. So of course, COVID is just causing them just a little bit of rift, but I don't foresee it being a big problem for them. They should rebounce. They should come back and have no problems getting back their regular payments.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you. That will conclude my report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
All right. Community and Business Center. I guess this is where the big introduction comes in.
Yes, sir. Commissioner and Chairman, I want to introduce Jana Bourne. Jana Bourne, just the individual that we have selected to oversee the Community and Business Development Center for us. Jana started about 2 weeks ago, George, 2 weeks ago, George?
Yes.
Okay. And she went at it running. So I think after you hear what she has to say about the things she's been doing in the last 2 weeks, to understand where she's at. I think what I've asked Jana to do since she's been here is, especially with the board report, you guys been listening to us, and we've been talking about, you know, the building, and we've been talking about a tank under the ground. I'm trying to get Jana, what I would like Jana to do is start making you guys familiar with what's going to happen in that building and the operation that's going to take place, because we're very close to having all the infrastructure done and getting ready to the build out. So without further delay, I'll let Jana. Jana, you want to go for it?
Good evening, board. How are you? My name is Jana Barnes, and I'm truly excited to be a part of the EDC and working on this building. I am a property manager. I'm a certified property manager, and I've been in the business for about 12 years, specializing in low to moderate income properties, property takeovers, turning around the financial health of properties that have been not making money for the investors and ownership. And I'm really excited about what's going on here. To start with, this is a facility that I think you all should be very proud of in implementing in our area. We don't have anything like it from here to Houston. Lake Charles has a small artist community, but nothing specifically geared towards businesses. And so you should be very, very proud that this board is bringing this to fruition in our city. What I've worked on so far is making sure that once the building opens, that the building can break even, that you know, we're not going to, that the building can sustain itself. I'm working with several other co-working spaces in Houston and modeling what they have done so far to ensure that we're successful when we open. I told Mr. Baptiste that what's very important to me is that we get it right the first time. We want to ensure that this building is as high tech as those major, those buildings owned by major co-working nationwide corporations in the Houston, Dallas, and Austin area. This building is unique in that our local community college will be occupying half of it, which is very exciting because we have a lot of students at Lamar who will also be moving on into entrepreneurship. And the one thing we want the community to know is that this building is for them. Mr. Baptiste talked about the lease kitchen and building it out. We have spoken with a local restaurateur that is interested in having those students be able to complete their internship there. I've spoken with several software vendors to make sure that everything is as high tech as it can possibly be, offering memberships to our local students and entrepreneurs based on a daily, monthly, yearly, whatever their business protocol will require. What else? Also, we have a liaison between myself and the construction superintendent, Brian with CTEX. We talk often to make sure that we are on target so that Lamar can have their space by May of 2021 so that they can host their culinary arts school on time for next fall, which is very important. We also want to make sure that our community is aware of the building before the building actually opens. So what we're going to start doing is building our community now and having them start to meet downtown in some area of 501 Proctor so that they're acclimated to coming downtown. We have to build our community before the facility is actually open. And so George and I have met with several local businesses, local entrepreneurs, trying to get them excited about this venture, and they are clearly excited about it. We have a couple that actually rent space on a daily basis when they go to Houston or Austin to conduct business. So they're actually excited about being able to do that. We're also working on creating a list of people who work from home and offering them a more structured work environment. We have several businesses who are paying their employees to work from home. We'd be able to offer them office space in a more structured environment for their employees as well. So that's where the preliminaries are. And again, I'm excited. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
First of all, I just want to congratulate you on your new position.
Thank you.
It's not like I don't know who you are, so
right.
You know what you're able to do.
Right.
But congratulations.
Thank you.
One of the main things about that facility that's near and dear to my heart is small business. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that I really would love to see not go away or be minimized is the help that we provide to those entrepreneurs who are just starting out and are not financially stable with some of the services and things that we've discussed in this particular project. I'm excited about the rest of it as well, but small businesses is really where it is, especially when it comes to keeping our community strong and together. So any help that I can give with respect to that, any insight, I'm here, I'm available. Just let us know. And thank you so much for the work that you've already done.
Will do. Thank you.
Ms. Barnes, are you, is this going to be full-time? Are you going to be doing this full-time, or are you a part-time worker?
No, sir, I'm full-time.
You're going to be full-time, huh? So
I am full-time.
really concentrate on this project, huh? Just roughly, how many is there a lot of space there that can be rented to several different businesses?
Yes, several different businesses. We also will have what we call hot seats, where if there's just an individual who works from home and needs to rent a chair for the day, they'll be able to do that. They'll have the option of just having a desk or having a desk with a locked drawer. They'll also be able to rent those spaces by the week or the month if that's what they desire to do. We have private office space as well. So we have a lot of different areas in the building configured to what people will need.
Well,
and
how will you figure that out ahead of time, what these people will need? Is there just going to be a bunch of open space until you get a tenant, or is there spaces designated for certain types of business?
It will be open space, but what we're going to do is start building that community now. We're going to start going to small businesses and asking them what exactly it is that they need. And we've already started that process so that we can be sure when we build out our white space, or that we start to tailor our memberships, because Port Arthur is a unique community. You know, so I visited places in Houston where you can have rent for $125 a month, and there are places in New York that are $1,200. So there are attorneys that rent co-work space, you know, because most of what they do now is paperless and they e-file at the courts. And so that attorney may want a private office space, whereas a person who works for Apple, like I have a friend who works for Apple doing tech support, who's interested in working for my building, she would probably just rent a hot desk for a month because she's wearing a headset. So what we're going to start doing is getting with small businesses and ascertaining exactly what it is that they need, so that when we build out our white space, we can provide exactly what our community needs at a price that they can afford, while making sure that the building can sustain itself.
Well, it's pretty exciting to me. I spent 18 years on Proctor Street. I was a small businessman, still am. Trying to get out of business, but I'm still in it. And anything I could help you with, I'd be glad to. I was right there, 529 Proctor for about 18 years. Used to be a shoe business there. But anyway, so I'm very excited about the downtown. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime, the revitalization that's coming our way. So it's pretty exciting to me. Individually, not just because I'm on the EDC, but because I have a history down there. So
right, and we also have a lot of people who own small businesses who don't know how to make their business a legitimate business. And so we're also going to help facilitate that process. But the main thing is starting to get them downtown, making them comfortable, making them know that we're available to help them, so that when the building opens, we can say, hey, this is for you guys. All of what you've done, this is for you guys. It's going to be a beautiful facility. I went to meet with.
If I can help you in any way.
Yes, it's going to be really nice. Thank you so much.
Janet, can you tell them how the software is going to manage this thing for you?
Oh, yes, I won't have to do much at all. I won't have to do much at all. So there are a couple of different softwares, but I think I've narrowed it down to one called Yardi Cube. Yardi is a company that is has been around for a while. They're headquartered in Indianapolis, and I'm very familiar with their products because, again, I spent 12 years in multifamily. And what they've done is they have created a software specifically designed for this space. It can manage everything from security to badging in and out of the building to the actual bandwidth on the Wi-Fi. They would be responsible for repairing the Wi-Fi if it went down. And what's really important is that there's a backup. So should it go down, it will work for 2 days until they get their techs down here from Houston, that's the most local tech, and repair it. Because one thing we want to be sure is that our members don't lose their amenities because of some failure of some sort. So again, we want to make sure get this done the right way. People will be able to book online. They will be able to pay online. If they order food from the cafe, they will be able to pay. Whatever it is, we configure. The software is standard, but there's a lot of white space on it as well. So we can configure it exactly to, you know, tailor to what our business needs.
So what is the cost?
I'm sorry, you broke up. The cost on what, Mr. Smith?
The software.
It just depends on exactly what package we pick. We won't need the accounting software, of course, that portion, because this, you know, our accounting is handled through the city. And what we're doing right now is getting with the businesses to ascertain exactly what it is we need. And then I'll be able to come back to you probably in November with an estimated cost. The implementation does take about 3 months, so I'm not looking to start implementing until January or February of next year, because 3 months after that, we will have to start paying for it. But, you know, you really want everything to be a one-stop shop where you're not paying 4 or 5 different vendors to, you know, handle everything for the building. And if we could get all of that at a reasonable cost from one vendor, I think that would be the way to go.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you so very much for your report. And again,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Baptiste, CEO report.
Okay, I'm going to start off first with, you know, the sales tax. Last month, I don't know if I reported to you guys, but our sales tax was up just about 2.3. Was it 2.3, George? 2.3%. So it was up about 2.3%. This month, we were down about 1.8%. But overall, when I look at this for the year, we're still about 17% higher than we were last year.
Wow.
So with all that's been going on, guys, you know, our economy is maintaining itself, and we will have more revenue from sales tax this year than we had last year, and I hope that that trend will continue. You know, when I look at other cities near us, I look at Beaumont, they were down 26%. So there's a lot of stuff going on here in Port Arthur that, you know, we're certainly happy to have going on, you know. The other thing I want to say to you guys is, you know, sometimes during this this coronavirus deal, you know, I learned a lot. I learned a lot of good things. I learned a lot of bad things. But one thing, you know, I learned that George and Crystal, they step up to the plate, and you know, we were very short-handed. You had people out for a long period of time, but I will tell this board, George and Crystal step up to the plate, and we got the job done. You know, they were very efficient, very effective in getting it done, and I just want to say thank you to both of you guys, George and Crystal. You know, it was tough, but we got it done. So we know it could be done. The other thing, I asked Joni to email you guys a spreadsheet, and the reason why I emailed that spreadsheet to you guys, I was out the office this morning, but I came in early this morning to run the numbers. And when I start looking at the numbers, if you look at the very last column that I have, those are numbers that is currently in this year's budget that you have that I am projecting you will not spend, that will be carried over into, going to your fund balance. So, Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith,
I'm in there.
so when we talk about, when we talk about finishing the building, I'm looking at about $3.3 million that you have in this year's budget not going into your fund balance. So, and when we budget for last year, remember we budget based upon expenses that we currently have plus future expense that we're going to incur. So I think when I asked you guys to go out for look at building out this building, I think we're going to have plenty enough money. But I still like the idea of going to 501 because the money is sitting in the bank and it's taxpayers' money. So I think we need to use it. So, but I gave you guys the spreadsheet to basically show, and this is an estimate, about $3.3 million that you're not going to spend. And I looked at the contingency. Well, you're going to spend some, that is for the new elevator for the building. I just go down professional service. I think you're probably going to spend less, about $7,000 or $8,000 less. Each one of them. Travel. There's no travel going on. If you look at job training, you're gonna, as you budget so much money, you're gonna have all this money left. So when you add it all up, we're talking about $3.3 million. So, and that's gonna go into your fund balance. So I think we're gonna be pretty healthy next year. The other thing I want to talk about is it's a city deal. I don't know if you guys know, but the city manager did announce that with the help of EDC, George, Crystal, we worked very hard and we put together a grant for the city of Port Arthur, an EDA grant. We got another EDA grant. We were awarded an EDA grant for $3 million. That $3 million will do infrastructure for the downtown area. It will go from Lake Charles to
Houston Avenue.
Houston Avenue. George, you want to tell them about that project?
Lake Charles to Houston Avenue and 4th Street to 7th Street.
And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going underground 36 inches and we put 4 lines, 2 lines for the electrical line and 2 lines for the communication line, and all these wires that you see hanging around here coming down, and they're going underground. So again, I want to thank George and for Crystal, the work they helped me in putting this, and it pays off. We got the grant, guys. Yeah. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is there is a proposition on the ballot, on the November ballot. And that proposition is that back in 2016, you guys went to the voters and you told the voters, look here, we want to give you guys 1/8 of our money, and we wanted to go specifically to the city of Port Arthur to repair and maintain streets. We all did that. And that was for 4 years. And in those 4 years, you gave the city $5,022,867.24. Well, that time has expired. But since you gave up that 1/8, we now have to go back to the voters and ask the voters to give it back to us. So, and that will take place in your November election. And I think it's important that we can't go out there and put billboards or do like other person running for political office and advertise this thing or try to promote this thing. But we can go out there to the community and provide facts, the information, so that people could make a decision if they would like to vote yes or no for this proposition in the November election. And John, I think I saw an email from you. What I'm going to be doing the next couple of weeks is going to various organizations. And I don't know if she provides you guys with the fact sheet, but the fact sheet is what I'm going there to tell the folks. I'm not going to tell them how to vote, but I'm going to tell them what's going on. And because a lot of people, I know personally, when I go vote, if I see a proposition, I vote no, because I figure they're going to raise my taxes. I don't even read it. But we want folks to know this is not going to raise their taxes. This is money that we had once had that we gave to you guys to maintain your streets. Now we ask you to give it back to us so that we could continue doing the good things that you guys have been doing in the past.
So how, Floyd, how will it be worded? Do we vote yes or no? How does it?
Kate, you're on mute, Kate. We need a lawyer.
Is it going to be clear to the voters?
Kate, yeah, Kate, can you, Kate, you're jumping around, Kate, on me.
Sorry.
Okay. John is asking about what you think the language will be like on the ballot.
The language for the ballot's already been decided. It was in the election order, which should be posted on the city's website or in their resolution. I'll have to pull it, but the language was already decided, and it's in the election order that the city passed. The proposition language was.
Well, I mean, is it clear to average Joe voter that yes or no? I mean,
I doubt it.
What does the voter say?
No, I mean, they might be a little confused. I'll have to pull the exact language, but it's on the website. Basically, it's stating that the EDC will get this 2% or 2 cents, but the ordinary voter might think, oh, my taxes are going up. But that's not true, because they need to understand that.
And I think that's why John asked that question.
Right. So I think the average taxpayer would think, oh, they're just trying to get more of my money. Taxes are going up. So you just have to inform them that, no, what we did 4 years ago was the EDC agreed to give a portion of the sales tax to the city for street maintenance. Not to get into all of the nuances, but, since we couldn't have the election properly, et cetera, you have to renew a street and maintenance tax every 4 years, which we did not do. So basically, if we don't have this proposition, then the EDC will never be made whole. And that's the whole point of the proposition, is to make us whole again so we can collect our full amount of sales tax that we've always been collecting.
Okay. For future reference, can the language be built in, like when we did this in 2016, and we did it for 5 years? Should we have stated that the money would come back to us after the 5-year ended? Could that have been part of the language in the original deal?
No,
No,
so no, because it's really interesting how the law is written. Whenever a city implements a sales tax for street maintenance, there's this in the tax code section of in the Texas tax code, there's a specific language that you have to use in order to get that proposition on the ballot. so the EDC agreed, and what we were going to do, was to kind of to catch it. Well, due to COVID and a lot of different stuff, unfortunately, it just came to this. And so we got this ballot language that's going to be on the November ballot approved by the state comptroller's office, so that they would agree that we were properly obtaining this amount back to the EDC. But anyways, it's a long answer, but no, Mr. Smith, unfortunately, the way that the law is written, you have to have a very specific language on the ballot whenever you do street and maintenance tax. And what's interesting, and then I'll stop, legally, is what's interesting, even a city. So say the city of Port Arthur, we actually represent a city in East Texas. They implemented a sales tax just for street maintenance. Even if a city does it, it still expires after 4 years and goes away. So it's not this. So just because the EDC did it for 4 years, it really doesn't matter. If a city implements a sales tax specific street maintenance, the law says it will automatically expire after 4 years. And you have to get another ballot or another ballot proposition on the ballot in order to try to keep it.
Okay. So if it doesn't pass, then the city of Port Arthur will continue to get that? Because what happened with the sales tax?
No. So actually, no, the city of Port Arthur wouldn't get it either. So again, that's what's interesting. After 4 years, the street and maintenance tax goes away unless you get your voters to reapprove it. And you have to have it specifically on the ballot saying it's for street and maintenance tax. So what would happen is, if the voters did not approve this proposition, the city of Port Arthur would not, there would just be this tiny percentage of a sales tax out there that just would not be collected.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
So the city, everyone's in support of this because frankly, everyone, the city of Port Arthur won't get it either. So no one would get it. It would just be this really tiny percentage that no one would be collecting. So the biggest thing out there is just to really, of course, I think this is a very big election. So I think you will have hopefully high voter turnout. But the biggest thing is just to inform everyone, your taxes are not going up. It's basically taking this percentage that the city's getting for street maintenance, and we're just moving it back over to the EDC. Now, is the ballot proposition written that way? No, not specifically, but that's in layman's terms what we're doing. We're keeping your sales tax the exact same. So clothes or Walmart, it's going to be the exact same. And two, what I love about sales tax propositions, so if you try to get a proposition to increase property tax, people get very upset about that. Well, sales tax too, if someone kind of complains like, oh, my taxes are going up, we'll say, no, not really, only if you go and buy something. You're only affected if you actually go to Lowe's and purchase something, which I know everyone does. But anyways, it's kind of like, it's not your property tax, it's just your sales tax, and we're trying to keep everything at the status quo. But just to this little bit of a nuance, we have to have this ballot proposition to keep the sales tax the same and to make sure the EDC continues to have the funds they need to continue to function as they do. And that was a really long explanation. I'm sorry.
Oh, we got it. That was clear.
But
It might not be clear to the voters, but it's clear to me.
Well, it's important that each one of you guys on this board go promote this thing for folks to vote for this deal, because as Kate just said, the city will lose 1/8.
It's like 1/8 of 0.5%, I think, something like that.
Yeah, the city currently get 1.5%. They will get 1 3/8, and that 1/8 will go away. So we could lose over $1 million a year.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Yeah, because a lot of that money that purchases in the city of Port Arthur is not even people that live in Port Arthur. They buy a lot of stuff in Port Arthur that we get sales tax off of.
That's correct.
Yeah. So it's not like the people are paying all of that live in Port Arthur. It's
Right, and I think that's what's really important. So anytime any of our clients go for a sales tax election, one of the touchstone points to inform the public is it only affects you if you go and buy something. You know, if you go to Walmart, if you go to Lowe's, if you go somewhere, it's not your property tax. So if you just stay home, which we don't want you to, we don't want you to go spend money in Port Arthur, but it's not your property tax that's going up. So, and just tell them that, and also in Texas, there's a certain percentage of property tax anyways, 8.25%. It can't increase above that. So just tell them, it would never increase above that. We're keeping it the same. This is just a legal thing, and we have to get it back over to the EDC. And this is the only way for us to do that.
Got it.
Mr. Baptiste,
Yes, sir.
I know this is the 9th month, and I don't know about the EDC newsletter, but this would be a perfect timing to put inserts in there and get it out as quick as possible to the public. You can do that.
I don't think we'll have it ready by the election period.
Okay.
Not a newsletter, not to my knowledge. I don't know where we are on the newsletter right now.
Mr. Baptiste, could you send out a letter to the public?
Well, the law is very specific that we cannot promote or advertise this thing, and what I would like to do, I am going to try to visit as many civics and social organ clubs, and just go to, like I'm setting up with the Satoma, I'm setting up with the Rotary, I'm setting up with Alpha, and I'm setting up with the Kappa and the Delta, and the Harley Davis guys.
Right.
And I'm going to meet with them one-on-one just to give them the facts. Because the law is very specific that I cannot go out there and advertise.
And actually, the board members, y'all cannot go out and advertise. You can't say, go to the polls and vote for this proposition.
That's it.
Only thing you can do is educate. So what Mr. Baptiste is saying, which is fabulous, the Chamber of Commerce, they can go and tell you to vote for the proposition because it's not their proposition. They are not elected officials. I know y'all aren't elected, but you're appointed by elected officials. So that's great. Get support community, people who support the community like the chamber or any sort of local organization. They can go out and they can say, vote for the proposition. But the board members cannot. You cannot go and tell anyone because you violate the Texas Ethics Code. You can't say vote for it. All you can do is give an explanation. 4 years ago, we gave X amount to the city for street and maintenance tax. The law says they can only keep it for 4 years. The tax goes away. So if we don't have this proposition on there, then the city and the EDC would lose this amount of sales tax. And we need it to continue to provide vital functions to the city and the EDC.
So we can use the chamber.
The Port Arthur News editorial board or whatever, I'm sure they could write something up too, huh? At the news.
They could just make sure, they're not quoting a board member, quoting, and you have to just be really, really careful because you just wouldn't want anything to be assumed that you all. So again, I think the Chamber of Commerce, y'all are helping them, get them to help you. They're a great resource to try to get the information out.
Yeah, we just gave them a discount on their air conditioning.
Yeah.
Exactly. So get them to help you.
Yeah.
That's all I have, Commissioner.
Okay.
All right. We have to go into the executive section, and this is going to be hopefully the quickest executive session that we've ever had. Wow.
Okay, George, you're going to have to show them how to get
this time a closed meeting. All right. At this time, a closed meeting or executive session will be held pursuant to the following sections of the chapter 551 Texas Government Code, section .071, .072, .074, and .081. 7. This time we will adjourn to executive session. Okay, so we're now ready to go back into our open meeting for the Port Arthur Economic Development Corporation. Mr. Baptiste, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Mr. Sherpers?
Here.
Christopher Smith?
Here.
Jerry LeBeau?
Here.
Dallas Smith? Dallas? Mr. Dallas. Farhana Swati? Rhonda Connors. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
All right. Coming back into an open meeting, there was one agenda item that we need to address, and that's agenda item number 4. That's to discuss for possible consideration amending the contract for grass cutting services at Spur 93 Business Park to include grass cutting services for the Jade Avenue Business Park with Joey Tractor Service of Port Arthur, Texas for $27.50 per acre for an additional cost not to exceed $14,850. Total contract cost will be $30,250. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and second that we approve the amending of the contract for Joey's Tractor Service. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, I'll entertain that.
Mr. Chairman, before you go, let me just explain that $30,025. That $30,025 is the total cost for the Jade Avenue and the 93 Business Park. It's for both
Yes, sir.
parks.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the explanation.
Thank you.
How about that motion that we all wait to give?
So moved.
Second.
All right. We moved and second that we adjourn this meeting. Y'all have a great month, week, all of that good stuff. See y'all next time.